Hello, and welcome to Hello Sister, a Vampire Diaries podcast with a magical twist.
We're your hosts, Christina Rosso-Schneider
and Brenna Dinon. Christina, how are you doing today?
I am doing pretty well. Got to spend some time in the garden, got to spend some time watching The Real Housewives. So, all in all, can't complain. How about yourself?
Love. It's another week. I actually got my nails done today, which is always really fun. Probably can't really see it that well, but, it always feels nice to feel put together because I did break my nail off, from my previous nail appointment. So, in between nail appointments. So, just feeling ready to take on the week and also talk about this interesting episode with you today.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got thoughts, I guess we can say. We've got
thoughts, we've got questions.
Always questions. A lot of thoughts. But before we get into that, shall we do a little at the top housekeeping?
Mm-hmm.
Important thing to note. And
it is Gemini season.
That is the most important thing we want to talk about here.
Gemini.
So Christina is a Gemini, as we have definitely mentioned on the podcast in prior episodes. Mm-hmm. But since we're firmly here in Gemini season, do you want to tell us a little bit about what it means to be a Gemini and debunk the myths?
Sure. So the Geminis are the twins of the zodiac. And because of this, they so often get this bad rap as being, two-faced or flighty, having multiple personalities. And, I'm not saying I'm not a very complicated person and that there aren't many sides to myself. But I'm certainly not two-faced. And I think it's just, incorrect to kind of ignorant to say that people who aren't actually diagnosed with personality disorders have multiple personalities. Yeah. But for me, it's really about trying to, Gemini is an air sign. So there is some flightiness in the sense that I get really excited about a lot of things and I'm always taking on new projects because new is exciting, but I'm not sometimes Geminis, they're said they move on from partners or something. And I'm I've been married for almost 8 years. It's not that, but I do move from I get a lot of new hobbies and I'll be really into them for a while. And then I might lose interest. Yeah. Like my crocheting. That I just haven't done in a year.
Hey, you know what? But that's okay. And I feel with Gemini energy, it's almost the twin aspect is, follow me on this, multiplying the self to be able to dabble in all of the things of interest, right? Having a lot of different or dueling interests in just certain things. And I definitely see that in you. You are one to take on many a project. Sometimes some would say, too many projects.
Definitely too many.
when we have to be oh, hey, we can slow it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's okay. We can do that. I feel that's a trademark for a lot of air signs, but I think that Gemini represent that the most in terms of just going.
Definitely. And Geminis tend to be really great communicators. So that makes a lot of sense as a creative, as a writer, as a podcaster. So I'm proud to be a Gemini, and Gemini season, I will say this is definitely true about Geminis. For the majority of us, Gemini season is all about us. Even though my birthday's not until the tail end of Gemini season, everything is about me until the end of my season. So welcome.
There you have it. Well, also fun little thing because I always love doing a little astro corners from time to time with myself. And so my midheaven is in Gemini. And what I've been learning as I continue to deepen my knowledge of astrology is that your midheaven tends to be kind of the ruler of your birth chart in a way. So there's a little I've always felt I didn't have enough air energy in my chart, but I kind of actually, so it has a little tinge of the Gemini, which I love.
I love that.
And also kind of tracks given my creative pursuits as well.
So. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So before we get into the episode proper, do we want to talk about a few ways we can have our audience support us?
Yes, absolutely. So, first and foremost, telling people about the podcast, sharing it with your friends, leaving a review, subscribing to us on YouTube. All of those things are super helpful for us. Following us on Threads. We're starting to post there. You can also support my bookstore, A Novel Idea on Passyunk, by buying books, including my own books. And lastly, you can book tarot readings with either of us, with both of us. We do virtual readings. We do in-person readings. We really love doing it. It's super fun, and it's a great way to support us, before we eventually move on to having a Patreon for the podcast.
For the pod. Yeah. And if you have any emails that you would like to send us, just some thoughts, some feelings as we continue on in season 1 and beyond of the show, you can do that at hellosisterpodcast1864@gmail.com. And we want to shout out our listener Rachel for shooting us our inaugural email, where it was such a thoughtful, lovely email. So thank you, Rachel, for reaching out. We encourage anyone who's enjoying to, drop us a line. We'll happily read them and get back to you when we actually check the inbox, because sometimes we don't always check it. But now, as a reminder, we will be checking it more frequently. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. So, all right. With all of that, let's dive into episode 13.
All right, we are talking about the Vampire Diaries, episode 13, Children of the Damned, this evening. This title for the episode is a nod to the 1960 movie Village of the Damned and its 1964 sequel, Children of the Damned, things I'd never heard about before. Because obviously Mystic Falls is overrun with supernatural beings, and this is literally what IMDb said. And some would say the town is damned.
Whoa.
Shots fired. But it also made me think of Anne Rice's novel, Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking of that. And then I was also thinking, and we'll talk about it more later, but not only are we going to see Anna, who's a vampire youth, let's put youth. Child feels wrong.
Yeah. A youth.
But then also the youngest generation of kids in Mystic Falls are also like learning about the supernatural.
Yeah.
So I feel like it can work in a couple ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. It can be Children of the Damned is something that can be applied to many.
Yes.
Love that.
This episode was directed by Marcos Siega, written by our showrunners Julie Pleck and Kevin Williamson, as well as one of the writers that we've talked about a bunch of times, Brian Young. So Brian with an I, last name starting with a Y. And this episode aired on February 4th, 2010, which, fun fact, is my mom's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Susan. But not today.
Not
it's
today.
Not February 4th.
But 16 years ago. Happy birthday. And then last but not least, I will share the IMDb synopsis, as we love to. This one's short and sweet, even though this episode does not feel that way.
No.
Stefan and Damon recall the incidents that led to the rift in their relationship.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, it's not incorrect, but it misses a lot.
It misses a lot. Yeah. This episode, outlining this one, was a doozy this week, I'll tell you what.
Yes, it was.
I mean, we got up to I think 30-something scenes, but so we'll see how we do today. I think we're going to keep it as swift as we can, though.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. On to our first scene, and that's how it's done. We are in Mystic Falls on a dirt road in 1864. I think it said that in the transcript.
I think it did.
It literally said dirt road. So we just, sometimes we consult with we often consult with the transcript, and sometimes the the bracket directions are pretty funny.
Yes,
but
definitely.
We're on a dirt road, you guys. Okay, so a horse-drawn carriage is riding down a dirt road. The driver and his passenger notice two people in the road, one laying on the ground and another crouched over top of them. As they approach, we see a woman approaching them, asking for help and what to do. And what do you know? It's Katherine. She pleads with the driver, saying that her husband has been hurt, and the driver goes to check on the man lying down in the road. And when the passenger emerges from the carriage, he asks Katherine what she's doing out here, and he tells her that it's not safe. Katherine agrees that it's not safe, vamps out, and attacks the man. The driver looks back from tending to the man that's on the ground and hearing the horse kind of grumbling, but oh no, Katherine is now in front of him and attacks him as well. Once Katherine is finished, she turns around to the person on the ground saying, and that's how it's done. We then see the person who was laying on the ground is an unharmed Damon. Katherine is teaching him how to hunt as a vampire and assessing his readiness to be turned. Damon wants her to turn him sooner rather than later, but she says when it's time and tells him to kiss her with her bloodied mouth. And he is definitely a little grossed out, and it's kind of hilarious the way that he is responding to this. And she insists that he kiss her like this and to get a taste, because soon he won't be able to get enough blood. So he does so. Cue the opening credits. What an opening.
It is an opening. Love being back in 1864. We're going to spend a lot of time in 1864 in this episode, and more time with Katherine. So
yeah, it's so great. Yeah, just getting more of the brothers' backstory is always kind of fun, especially just because it feels like we are building to this kind of point, and we are certainly the show's going in that direction. So getting more of this backstory is very important to where our characters are, but also just to see where they've come from, which feels so crazy from our earlier episodes where we were just getting the little dribs and drabs of it, and now we're really seeing it. So it's very cool. It's also interesting to just see Damon in this different way, because he just has such a more innocent energy to him than before, and you can definitely see how Katherine's behavior has influenced him, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, on to our next scene.
All right, it's got a bit of kink to it. We are in present day at the Salvatore boarding house. Stefan and Elena are snuggled up in Stefan's bed as they're slowly waking up, clearly very happy and very much together. The moment is short-lived, though, because Damon interrupts the moment and tells them to stop being smutty as they both try to tell him to get out of there. He says, if I see something I haven't seen before, I'll throw $1 at it, which I love. And goes on to say that they have some important business to discuss, since they are now working together towards a common goal in opening the tomb to get Katherine out. As we know from our last episode, Stefan has no intention of helping Damon open the tomb. But Damon does not know this, so he's operating under the assumption that he has Stefan's and by extension Elena's help. He shares that in order to open the tomb, they need to get a hold of Jonathan Gilbert's journal so they can find Emily's grimoire to undo the spell to get into the tomb. Since Elena is a Gilbert, Damon puts her on journal duty. Stefan stresses that she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to, but she agrees to help. Stefan brings up trusting information that they got from Noah, the vampire, in the previous episode, citing that he's unsure that Noah's information is, something they can trust due to him being a dimwit. But since that's their only lead, they're going for it. Elena asks what a grimoire is, and the brothers define it for her. Damon calls it a witch's cookbook. And Stefan further explains that every spell that a witch casts is unique unto itself, so every witch would document their work. We dug into folklore around grimoires last week, so if you haven't checked out that, go over and do so. And
pretty extensive stuff.
Pretty extensive stuff about grimoires, yes. Stefan brings up Noah working with other vampires and what they're going to do about it. Damon agrees that he doesn't like this disadvantage, so he wants them to chop. He also says he's digging this whole menage threesome team thing. It's got a bit of a kink to it, as the title of the scene suggests. After Damon leaves, Elena goes to say something, but Stefan reminds her of Damon's vampiring and to not say anything out loud. So instead, Elena draws him in for a little more sexy time.
Ooh. All right. So how are we feeling about this scene?
Well, I mean, it's wild that our teenagers are having sleepovers, but you know.
Do you think she's just like lying to Jenna about sleeping over Bonnie's? I feel it, or Caroline's. I feel like that's got to be the move, right?
Possible. I mean, if it weren't for like later in the episode when Jenna tells Stefan that like he's not sleeping over, I would like before that I'd be like, oh yeah, Jenna doesn't care. Yeah. But with that, I'm like, maybe Jenna cares a little bit.
Yeah, she's trying to step up her parent game.
She's trying to step up her parent game. But I do love when the brothers are working together, though, you know, it's not genuine. Yeah. So that's a bummer. I do really vibe with Damon and Stefan's explanation of a grimoire, though.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I feel similarly, like just Damon having kind of starting to believe in this like working together stuff, and for it to only end the way it does by the end of the episode is kind of a bummer. But
yeah, for sure.
But it's nice to see him kind of happy-go-lucky in the moment.
Yeah.
Especially with all his like sex stuff that he talks about in the beginning. Okay, on to our next scene. A match you lit, no doubt. We are at the Salvatore estate in 1864. The previous scene of Elena and Stefan fades into this one where we are back in time at the Salvatore estate. Damon and Katherine are in bed together, much like Stefan and Elena messing around in present day. As they're tussling, Katherine gets on top of Damon in vamp face, and Damon looks up from underneath her in awe. There's a knock at the door, and Katherine retracts her vamp face, and we see it's Emily. She says that Miss Pearl's here to see her, and Katherine asks her to ask Miss Pearl to wait as she readies to part ways with Damon for the day. And once she's dressed, Katherine comes downstairs, and we see her greet a woman named Pearl. She asks Emily to tell Mr. Salvatore that she's stepped away, and when Emily asks which Mr. Salvatore she would like to tell this to, she goes, both. Emily smirks and continues on her way to, I'm guessing, informing both of them. Katherine and Pearl make their way outside, and Pearl asks how long she plans to stay at the Salvatore since people talk and her mingling with both brothers isn't helping that. Katherine shrugs off the warning, saying that the Salvatores took her in and that everyone else in town is under the impression that she is an orphan from Atlanta and she lost her family in some fires. I guess there was a fire in Atlanta, apparently. Is that a thing in the show? I don't know. Or is that just...
No, that's not a thing in the show, but it's I'm pretty sure that happened during the Civil War.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would, yeah.
It's definitely a thing in Gone with the Wind, which is what I think of every time she's like, I'm just like, when my family burned up in the fire. I'm like, oh no, do you have a curtain dress too, Katherine?
Oh man, that's definitely, oh my gosh, you're so right.
She's definitely got some Scarlett O'Hara vibes.
Oh man, Katherine, she's really something. Okay, so... as the scene continues on, Pearl interrupts their conversation to tell her daughter, who was across the way looking at a horse, to be careful. When she resumes the conversation, we learn that... So they're calling her... I know we were trying to figure this out last week where we were saying Honoria, but it sounds like they're calling her Honoria Fell. So Honoria Fell came by the apothecary with an elixir that she shows Katherine. And we learn Honoria Fell asked that it be sold at a reduced rate. Pearl encourages Katherine to try it, so she sniffs it and then goes to put some on her hand and it burns her. Katherine is confused, but then Pearl clarifies that it's vervain, insinuating that the town/council knows about the vampires and they're trying to find them, and suggests that it's time to move on, but Katherine isn't ready yet. Pearl's daughter approaches them asking if they can leave, and gasp, what a reveal. We see it's Anna, and she's wearing a truly horrific bonnet.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my god. I have thoughts about like most as I'm trying like not to be an Anna hater, but like there's just some things about just not all her fault. Maybe some of the writing fault, but like so far I'm like, Anna girl, what?
When she's like petting the horse from behind and her hair's so long and like black and straight, I told you this off camera the other day that it just gives me like Samara from The Ring vibes. Really, and honestly, that doesn't change. I've watched this episode so many times, really, and I'm scared every time I see her.
It's like it's just you're just expecting her to get ready to crawl out of the TV, honestly. So one thing that I thought about this scene is that I'm kind of liking the parallel that we're seeing that the show's trying to do between the past and the present day with Elena and Katherine and how they're interacting with the brothers. They're definitely trying to like say something there with that, right? Mm-hmm. And we're getting a lot of like Katherine and Damon focused stuff in this episode. We're in our present day, like Elena and Stefan are together. So that's just kind of interesting to keep a little tab on. And so also we see, obviously, Katherine forever a sex-positive queen, just like our girl Caroline, who is not in this episode. Rude.
I miss her so much. She's at her dad's.
She is at her dad's. That's why she's not in our episode. But my question to you is, Christina, like, it's probably, like, universally agreed that, like, Katherine is a dom, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that would make, in theory, both brothers subs.
Yes.
Do we think that that's still true in present day?
It's interesting because, like, definitely in 1864, but as you were saying, like, Damon has changed a lot. He's not innocent, but he's still madly in love with her, so he might just fall back into that role with her.
Yeah. What about Steph?
I feel like he might be a little more dominant now.
Okay.
I feel like they might, how they present themselves on might actually maybe be the opposite in bed.
Okay.
Because I feel like people who, like, I just think it's so complex, right? And it's very, like, depending on the person, what they want in between the sheets. But I don't know. I could just see Stefan being a little more of, like, a take charge.
Take charge? Okay. All right. There you have it. So I had to know because Katherine's obviously just running the ship in 1864.
Yes.
And this is just another thing that I observed from the scene is that I feel like Elena and Katherine share a common thread in questioning things that are fucking obvious. Like, what would, like, just genuinely speaking, like, what else would Pearl be coming to Katherine with? Like, if she's expressing concern about moving on and then, like, also, like, wouldn't she be able to smell vervain, like, what vervain is? You know? I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't think when you liquefy it, I don't think it like changes the scent. And from Friday Night Bites, we do know that it does have some kind of scent. So I'm just a little. That's not the first time that Katherine is a little questionable with her vamp abilities, but also just in general.
Yes.
And then finally, I think Pearl's very gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, she is. Absolutely. So moving into our next scene, small town bartender fit the bill. We are at a motel in Mystic Falls in the present day. Anna is on the phone, laying in bed. We can guess from the message she's leaving that is for Jeremy, so she can keep on her pursuit of getting the journal. Ben comes out of the bathroom after taking a shower and asks who she's calling, and she says it's Jeremy. Ben gets a little jealous, asking if Anna is into him, but she assures Ben that it's just because she needs something from Jeremy. He then dumbly walks over to the window and burns himself when peering through the curtain. And we learn that Ben is still a new vampire and is definitely still learning the ropes of being and existing and surviving as a vampire. Sunlight is bad, Ben. He asks if the journal on the bed is the Gilbert journal, and Anna is so annoyed and is like, no, and is like, why haven't you like kind of like learned things, right, from being here, being around. He tells her she doesn't need to talk down to him. She gets up and goes to the mini fridge and gives him blood because she doesn't want him getting itchy around Bonnie, the witch, because she'll be able to sense if he's weak. In typical vampire fashion, he wants a better blood option, and Anna assures him that he can have whatever he wants once they open the tomb, but for now to stay focused on Bonnie as she tries to get the journal from Alaric. He asks why she chose him, and she says she needed someone to be her eyes and ears, and a small-town bartender fit the bill. Unsatisfied with this answer, he asks why him again, and she tells him he was sad and needed purpose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this debunks our question around Ben being, because I think the last episode you were like, did they turn, or not turn Ben, but did Ben get planted there as a vampire to do the work as Noah did get planted to like be a pizza delivery guy? But it seems like he was already
there. Yeah.
And like, I don't know why this is just another, again, more, there's so many questions in this episode, but I'm confused why Anna needs Jeremy for something despite Ben knowing the plan that she's using him to get to the, like, getting to the journal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you think that was that just like weird?
Yeah,
clunky writing, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was kind of clunky. I do feel for Ben in this scene because, yes, he does seem, this is literally what I wrote, he definitely seems a bit simple, but this is why she picked him, right? And while I get being frustrated that he's not putting things together, she's really mean to him.
She is really
She's really mean to him.
Okay, on to our next scene, Trust and Family Secrets. We're at the Gilbert residence. And Stefan and Elena are at Elena's discussing whether or not Damon believes they're helping him, and she goes through some family things looking for the journal. Stefan tells her that he isn't sure due to Damon's lack of trust. Elena says she thinks that Damon believes everything he's done for love and that it's twisted but kind of sad. Stefan gets a little defensive, just like a little defensive. It's more like explainy defensive, not like full on defensive. Mm-hmm. In Stefan's defense about being defensive, saying that Damon's way of going about things isn't good and that he has no regard for human life. He goes on to say every time he's let his guard down around Damon and allows Damon back into his life, he regrets it, so he's not going to let it happen again. Elena asks what Stefan thinks will happen if the tomb is opened and Damon gets Katherine back. And Stefan believes that no matter what Damon promises, a lot of people will die. Elena uncovers a picture of Jonathan Gilbert, who Stefan identifies, and then Elena uncovers a box with a muzzle in it. Before Stefan can answer, Jeremy interrupts asking what they're doing, and Elena tells him that they're going through some of their dad's stuff, feeling sentimental and wanted to check out the old family journal. Jeremy asks if it's Jonathan Gilbert's journal that they're looking for and shares that he just did a history report on it and that he left it with Alaric. Elena and Stefan exchange looks.
Okay, first thought is I know that Elena has had some issues with Jenna recently, right? In learning that she was adopted and Jenna having kept that from her. But does she not talk to her brother at all? Because, like, how is she the only person in that house who doesn't know about this extra credit project he's been doing? Because we've only basically seen him doing homework or playing video games lately.
Yeah.
So way to just be totally checked out on your brother's life, Elena.
Yeah, it's like did a little mind wipey and now he's just like fully checked out.
Yeah. She's also definitely sympathizing with Damon here, sure. And I understand it, but I do feel like you need to, like, and by you, she's got to trust Stefan, the person who's been dealing with his brother for 145 years. And plus, from what we've seen of Katherine, if she's in that tomb and she's reunited with Damon, I think there's going to be a lot of carnage.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, I definitely understand why Stefan is very clear on not wanting to open that tomb. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense. And I guess we'll keep finding out, or waiting to find out. On to our next scene.
Great. So this scene is called Take Me Back to 1864. We are at Mystic Falls High, and it's after hours. Alaric is reading Jonathan Gilbert's journal in his classroom, and we have a voiceover of him reading from the journal. I met Barnett And Giuseppe, this evening, I saw the skepticism in their eyes when I showed them the compass.
The names are naming.
The names are naming. And that's just a little itty bitty scene because it takes us right into a flashback. So in 1864 Mystic Falls, I'm calling this You Can Count on Both My Boys. So we move right from Alaric's classroom to the past where Stefan and Damon's father, Giuseppe Salvatore, is talking to Barnett Lockwood and Jonathan Gilbert about vampires and the watch that can track them, picking up the conversation that Jonathan Gilbert was journaling about. Barnett Lockwood asks if it's magic, but Jonathan Gilbert says it's science. Giuseppe starts talking about a plan regarding the church when Stefan knocks and interrupts the meeting. He apologizes and leaves. Jonathan asks Giuseppe if he's told his sons about the vampires yet, and he says no. Jonathan insists that they'll need all the help they can get. He specifically says, all the men we can get. And Giuseppe says he'll tell them soon.
Well, interesting.
Yeah. First glimpse of most of the founding fathers or founding members, right? Because I'm like Honoria, I guess is how we're saying her name, because she's the lady.
She's the
obviously.
lady. I love that.
I love that too. And we obviously get to meet Stefan and Damon's dad, who is Richard from Sex and the City.
Okay.
I can't unsee that.
That's so, I mean, he looks familiar, but like I've never seen Sex and the City. So I didn't know who, like when you had that note in there, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I'm sure that probably most folks, if they've seen Sex and the City, probably can't unsee that either.
He's one of the prominent relationships for my favorite character, Samantha.
Oh, fun. Okay. Well, maybe that's something I'll have to watch at some point in time because I feel like
I'm currently doing a rewatch right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's my bedtime show.
Hell yeah, love that. Okay, so next scene. Have a seat. Mr. Salvatore's class is in session, and we are at Mystic Falls High in the present day. So we're back at the high school, kind of back where that scene that Christina just read a couple, like in the scene before the past insert. We're going to be doing a lot of this in this episode. And Alaric is Xeroxing the journal in the teacher's lounge. He walks over to a locker and puts the printed pages in it and makes his way back to the classroom with the journal. We also see that Anna is in the school working to get said journal. And when Alaric sits back down at his desk to continue to work, he hears a whoosh sound and looks up and inquires to see if anyone is there and does some hellos and is someone there. And Anna is in the school hiding from him. He makes his way back to the teacher's lounge to get something from his locker and pulls out a weapon and loads a stake into it. He moves through the halls with the weapon. It's like a compound weapon thing. And not a crossbow though. And he makes his way back to his classroom and shoots, but Stefan is there and caught it. And we cut to a commercial. When we come back from the commercial break, we're still at the school, and Stefan thwarts Alaric from loading and firing another stake at him. He tells Alaric that he shouldn't have done that and tells him to take a seat. Stefan assesses the weapon and asks who Alaric is, and also says he's not going to hurt him unless he tries to shoot him again. He hands him back the weapon and asks again who he is. Alaric finally replies that he's a teacher, but also a historian. And when he did research about Virginia, he made some discoveries about Mystic Falls, but Stefan isn't buying it and asks for the truth. Alaric shares that his wife was a parapsychologist and that she spent her life researching paranormal activity in this area in particular, and that her work led her here, and that she's dead and a vampire killed her. Stefan then asks where the Gilbert journal is, and Alaric asks why he wants it. Stefan presses Rick and eventually says it's on his desk, but we see that it is not. Rick is surprised by this and confirms by saying that it was on the desk. Like he is, I mean, Rick's not like, I mean, Rick's, I guess, probably like a little scared, but he's like, no, dude, I'm telling you, like it was on the desk. So.
Yeah. Stefan's finally taking over history class. We've waited a long time for this, right? I also love seeing him like a little scary and zero bullshit.
Yeah.
It is hot. Couple things. Alaric. aren't you like smart enough or paranoid enough to know that you should be at home reading this journal instead of at the high school where anyone undead can just come in, right?
Wild
like
stuff.
For someone who knows vampires are real and we know is like just kind of dipping his toe into that world, like protect yourself behind, where they can't come in.
Yeah.
Also Rick has a type. His wife was a parapsychologist and now he's dating a psychology PhD student.
I know, that's pretty crazy. I love that you made that connection. Also, kind of back to him being at school, like, do you think that Rick, like most millennials of the time, I know this is certainly my situation. Well, I don't know. I guess I did at one point have a printer, but like, do we think that he's there because he needs to use the like copy machine, the Xerox machine?
I mean, seems possible, but then he like finishes making copies, closes the journal, and then like is seemingly like grading something. Also, like, dude, I know you're young, but you're not that young to just be using that little lamp. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like very dark. It's a choice. It's a choice, Rick.
Moving on to our next scene, some people just shouldn't journal. We are back at the Mystic Falls Motel. Anna is leafing through the stolen journal. Ben asks what's in there, and she says a bunch of gibberish. She deflects by asking about Ben's date with Bonnie, and he asks her to wish him luck with a kiss, but she rejects him, instead being interested in the journal. We start to hear a voiceover from Jonathan Gilbert. I saw her again today, the most beautiful woman in town with a name just as pretty, Pearl. And we cut to the next scene in the past. So we're calling this scene Apothic Warnings.
I like that.
And we are at the apothecary in 1864. Katherine assures Pearl that they will leave Mystic Falls soon, but she will need to take care of a few things first. Pearl infers that Katherine is going to turn both Stefan and Damon into vampires, and from her look, this is exactly what she has planned. Pearl urges her to be careful. Katherine promises that they'll all be safe. Over Pearl's shoulder, she spots Jonathan Gilbert and pinches Pearl's cheeks, just to kind of bring some life to her, right? And it seems like Pearl and Jonathan Gilbert have a little something going on. Jonathan asks if he and Pearl could have a moment, and she obliges as she says, I'm still waiting for you to explain to me that comet in the sky. We know that comet.
We do know that comet.
Inside the apothecary, Katherine is with Anna and Emily and tells Anna that her mother has an admirer, and both Anna and Emily smile. These Gilberts, they love to unknowingly fall for vampires.
Truly. Also, like, the like just Pearl being like, I'm still waiting for you to explain to me that comet in the sky. I'm just like, that's such a, like, I feel like this bitch knows what a comet is, and she's just like being nice to this man that is fancying her. But it's just kind of like funny, you know, just how she's being towards him, which is like sweet, but also terrible by the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. But the Gilberts, they got it bad for these vampires. It's in the family. Okay, next scene. D is for Daddy Salvatore's disappointment. And we are at the Salvatore estate and we're still in 1864. So Giuseppe, Damon, and Stefan are walking on their estate, and Giuseppe is talking to them about the importance of being descendants of the founding families, and that the other families are counting on them. Stefan ensures that the founding families can count on them, but Giuseppe is But Giuseppe, in front of Damon, outright says he's unsure if Damon can be counted on. Stefan assures their father that Damon can be trusted, and their father's remark was in reference to him leaving the Confederacy, to which Stefan defends his brother by saying that he left on principle and that should be respected. Giuseppe is clearly displeased with Damon for deserting the army, and Damon, in his own right, claps back and says he was never asking for his father's respect, which Giuseppe is happy about because all he has for his son is disappointment. Womp womp. To defuse the situation, Stefan asks about the town being in trouble. Giuseppe says there's been too many deaths and they have to fight back against these killers. Stefan questions further, and Giuseppe says they live amongst demons. Damon says their father's being too cryptic and tells him to just say it, and Giuseppe confirms the killers he's referring to are vampires. He reveals the founding families have a plan to kill them and that the brothers are going to help them. And we start to hear a voiceover from Damon that cuts into the next scene in the present day. Okay. One of my first thoughts after this scene is Damon's got a lot of issues, but being on the wrong side of political history isn't one of them.
Fair.
So, because at least he left that shitty side. So, good job, Damon, but you also were bad in a lot of other ways. And this is not that groundbreaking, but Giuseppe sucks.
Yeah, his dad sucks. One thing that I didn't put the note down here, but one thing I've thought about every time I've watched the scene and thought about the scene is like, Giuseppe doesn't react at all to the fact that Damon knows that vampires exist. Yeah. And I actually feel like you could make the argument that part of what tips him over with all the Katherine stuff later might be in part because both of his sons mention vampires.
Like tipped it off. Yeah, that's true.
Because Stefan doesn't say anything to his dad until after his dad's told him about vampires.
Right. No,
I'm just saying.
I think that's very, very valid. Very, very valid.
All right. Our next scene, very entitled, that one, marches to his own drum. We are back in the present day at the Gilbert residence. Damon's chopping food, telling Jenna about his dad and his dating life as she sips a glass of wine. He asks about her own dating history, and she says Logan isn't the only loser that she's dated. Damon asks if they ever found Logan or if he's still missing, and she says no, he's not missing. He's off in the Bahamas working on his tan, and that the Fells have always been very entitled, and she says he marches to his own drum. I also called the scene that, like, very entitled, that one, marches to his own drum, because I feel like that's Damon too.
Yeah, for sure.
Damon then says hello to Elena seconds before she enters the kitchen, and she's very surprised to find him there. And she says, he asks where Stefan is, and she says he'll be there soon. So as I was watching this episode, my husband was half paying attention, and he is a wonderful chef and takes offense at whatever is happening on that cutting board with Damon. He's confused about the huge amount of green onion and pairing it with black olives. Also, Damon, according to Alex, does not have the correct knife pinch down. And he literally said, he was like, I guess he hasn't spent the last 145 years looking how to hold a knife. Hasn't been watching the Food Network show.
Apparently not.
Wow. Also, why is Damon cooking / whining and dining Jenna? And why doesn't she think it's weird?
It's so weird. Like, it's so weird.
It's so weird, right? So, like, Jenna's super casual with Elena when she comes in, which, okay, couple things. Like, one, I want to know your thought on this. Did you feel like with their talk last week where she tells Elena what she knows about her birth mother, that they were, like, good then?
No,
right? But this episode, it's so casual. It's like literally, besides the one, like, thing, that one conversation Jenna and Elena have about her being adopted later in this episode, it's not brought up at all. Oh. So, A, that feels too casual. Yeah. But then, B, her boyfriend's older brother is making her aunt dinner and pouring her wine.
Yeah.
When Elena wasn't there, Stefan isn't there. No. It's just really...
So did he just, like, show up and go, hey, like, with, like, his little grocery bag of olives and green onion and tomato, and just was like, hey, we're cooking dinner?
What is he making? They also never eat.
Do they have a salad?
He does taste what looks like a sauce at one point.
He does, yeah.
But then he's also, like, boiling a pot. So, like, are they supposed to have pasta? But, like,
pasta and salad?
But we never actually see prepared foods.
No.
Alex told me it's just, like, a lot of bowls with things in them. So, okay. Next scene. Who do you think killed my wife? So at the time of this weird kitchen interaction, Stefan is still at Mystic Falls High with Rick. And so he's talking to Alaric, asking how long he's been aware of Stefan and that he's a vampire. Alaric says recently, and he also asks about Damon. They go back and forth, and Rick reveals that Damon is who killed his wife. Stefan asks if he's sure, and Rick says that he witnessed it. Stefan cautions that if Rick is here for revenge, it's going to add badly for him, and Rick insists that he is just trying to find out what happened to his wife. Stefan is confused by this, but Rick continues saying that he saw Damon drain the life from her, but he must have heard Rick coming, so he ran off and her body was gone as well, and no one has ever found her. Stefan stresses that Damon can never find out why Rick is in town. Rick says that he can take care of himself, but Stefan asserts that he can't, and that he'll help Rick if he can. So this is an interesting partnership between them. Interesting project between teacher and student.
Definitely an interesting project.
It's their first independent study.
I mean, I do appreciate, obviously Stefan in the previous scene in this is definitely kind of being hard on Rick just because of the severity of the situation, because quite literally if Rick does have any kind of plan to do anything to Damon, he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
So I do like that Stefan's trying to look out for him and kind of give him the down low, but also preparing him to deal with Damon, since obviously Damon and Rick have been introduced from the last episode.
Yes.
So, all right, next scene, stirring the pot. We're back at the Gilbert residence. As Elena brings plates over to the table, Damon bumps into her, passing it off as an accident. Elena walks past him and puts the plates down, calling him out for bumping into her deliberately. He plays coy, and Elena is annoyed. Damon moves out to the stove to stir the pot, pun intended, and he asks where Stefan is, saying that he's missing family night. With sincerity, Damon then asks Elena if this renewed sense of brotherhood is real and if he can trust Stefan. Elena says yes, but walks away, clearly guilty about lying to Damon. He vamp speeds over to her, and she turns, knowing he's right there. And he asks again if he can trust Stefan, and she tells him that she's wearing vervain, so any kind of potential compulsion is not working on her. And he just, the way his face, he's I'm not trying to do that. He
this idiot, she doesn't even know what it looks like, and so it's compelling you.
He's he literally just the way that he's so serious, and he goes, I'm not trying to compel you. It just Ian Somerhalder's doing some fun face work in this episode, I have to say. And when he asks her to answer, he's truly asking her to answer honestly, and she says, of course, that he can trust Stefan, and then walks away.
I guess if we, I don't know if Elena has seen a compulsion take place yet, but still, it's wouldn't you? I don't know. It just seems like his reaction tells me that he thinks it's stupid that she thinks that.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a little offended she thinks that. Okay, couple things. First off, Elena is a terrible liar.
God. My favorite is because just when we do our notes, we don't do them always at the same time. So as soon as I watched this scene, I literally went down to my thoughts, and you had already been in there for your thoughts, and it was she's a terrible liar, and that was the first thing.
Horrible. She's not selling anything.
Is she kidding with this? I cannot. I actually am offended by her lying skills. She's not putting in any effort.
She can't meet his eyes.
No.
She turns away right away. Her answers are short and deflecting. She's real shifty.
She's also definitely kerfuffled with him getting very close in her personal space, which is a trademark of Damon. And I would also be kerfuffled if a hot vampire was also that close to me, particularly that vampire. So I mean I get it, but also Elena, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's super weird that Jenna is in the other room after being so flirty with Damon, and if food's being put on the table, she's playing, you can barely see it, but she's sitting on the couch with Jeremy, and they're playing video games.
Also playing? I saw her walking in the background, but does she actually sit down to play?
Well, they're both sitting at the couch, and it's a split screen of a game, so I don't know.
That's fun.
But that seems weird. Also, they're talking about vampire stuff not that quietly, and it's not that far away.
No, they're literally steps. So from other scenes in this episode, there are people in that part of the room, and there's other people sitting on the couch, and you can clearly hear.
Right. And then Alex wants everyone to pay attention to what they've dubbed the teapot shrine, which is this bright yellow teapot on a miniature little table. That is in the corner of the kitchen counter.
Very funny.
So strange.
I did see that. When I saw that, I had to go stop and freeze frame to look at it. It's pretty funny. Little teapot. Oh, man. But, and yeah, just kind of what I said sort of earlier, just I would probably fold and just be honest with Damon if he was that close to my face. I'd be like, and then can we make out? I don't know. That seems like the logical thing, but
stop whatever you're doing with the food and just
let's just do that instead. I don't know. But he is Damon clearly is being sincere about wondering, and that's tough look in this episode. Okay. So, on to our next scene. I almost believe she genuinely likes him, and we are back in 1864 at the Salvatore estate. Katherine and Giuseppe play crochet, and Emily. Oh,
it's spelled the same way. It's not spelled the same way. That's not at all spelled the same way. But
I think that's a sign that you need to get back to your crochet project.
I guess so.
But I mean, just imagine, it would be actually funnier if they were playing crochet, and which I'm not sure. Again, not sure how you play that together. You're just weaving, just with the dueling little chopsticks. And that's not what they are. What are they like? They're little I mean, they're kind of like sticks. I don't know, or needles.
The needles. But you know what? I apologize for you for saying that it's spelled the same way. They're not spelled the same way, and that was my bad.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Well, I loved it. That
they're playing crochet.
They are playing crochet and also croquet. And Emily stands off to the side watching. Stefan and Damon approach, and Damon says Katherine is good at acting, and he almost believes she genuinely likes their father. Well, at least someone's a good liar out of the doppelgangers. Okay. So, Stefan, ever earnest, says that maybe she actually does like their dad, and Damon scoffs at this, saying Katherine knows their father would kill her if he knew what she was. Stefan believes that if they tell their father in truth about Katherine, that he will help protect her. Damon disagrees and asks Stefan to promise not to say anything to their father. Katherine looks at Stefan, and he promises Damon he won't tell their dad. Interessante.
Minus the croquet debate of 2026 happening in 1864. We're starting to see more tension between the brothers in these flashbacks, right? I feel like when Katherine gives that look at Stefan, it's because she's listening to their conversation. Yeah. I mean, she has to be listening to it.
She gives them a true look.
Right. Which means for later, this will be relevant, that she knows that Stefan wants to tell their dad.
Yeah. Which, why wouldn't she be like, yo, no, don't do this?
Why wouldn't she compel him?
Yeah. I mean, maybe she tried. No, he would have known. Well, just based on, I guess it depends on the timing, just because of something that happens with Stefan in the future scene. But I don't know. There's just I don't know. Confusing stuff from Katherine, I feel. She's being sloppy.
She's being sloppy, I think. And I think part of that is she's overconfident. But I do think that there's Vampire 101, right? Damon, it's such a shitty example, but Damon with Caroline, she doesn't share anything about, she only talks about vampires when she's with him.
Yeah.
And doesn't know about it otherwise.
Right.
So,
no, that's true.
That seems smart. You're just okay, I'm feeding on you. You know I'm a vampire, but you're not allowed to ever talk about it.
Yeah. That is, yeah. So I don't know why that never occurred.
Step 1, bite them. Step 2, compel them.
Compel them to not tell anyone that you're a vampire.
Yep.
Confusing stuff, Katherine. Confusing stuff. I just okay.
You got to talk about it.
Well, I know sometimes we come after Caroline with the fashion police, and she's not here this week. So we gotta, there's some other, this cravat that Stefan's wearing in this scene is truly like like cravat of the style of the time, but the way it's styled, like, because Damon's wearing one too, and it is more kind of like put together because he's wearing his jacket, but the way that Stefan's is like open, and I don't even think he has a vest on, because usually I feel like cravats like are stuffed into the vest, right? Like, I mean, again, fashionistas, whomever you are, you might know differently, but like to me it looks like weird. I don't think it looks cute, and I'm just and it was enough that it was drawing my attention to it to even say something, so I feel like it was worth mentioning. So thank you for that. He does look better with his cravat in other scenes though, so thank goodness. Also, like, Stefan, are we for real? Like, do we really think, like, after that scene that we literally just saw earlier in this episode, like, do you really think that your dad would be cool with vampires? He seems like a hard ass just in general. And the fact that, like, they had a conversation about this, I'm just, nothing about him screams to me, oh, he's sympathetic.
Right.
All right.
Next scene, trust breeds trust. We are at the Gilbert residence in present day. Damon tells Elena that there was a time where he trusted Stefan more than anyone. Elena says that trust breeds trust. Damon says that he just wants Katherine back and that he hopes she can understand that. And she tells him that she does understand that he would do anything for Katherine. Damon comes up close behind Elena and says, then you understand what I will do if anyone gets in my way. So that's a threat. And then moving into our next scene, we are still at the Gilberts. This is called Hot Trumps Weird. Trust me. Damon and Jeremy play video games on the couch. I think it's just so funny. I feel like their hair's very similar. It's just styled slightly differently. Yeah. Jeremy pauses the game to check his phone, but after looking at it, he puts it down. Damon asks who he's dodging, and he says this girl, Anna, who can be persistent. Naturally, Damon wants to know if she's hot, and Jeremy says yes, but she can be weird. Damon tells Jeremy that hot trumps weird. Behind them, now Jenna is in the kitchen with Elena. They're in the kitchen. No one's eaten. I'm so confused. Where's the food? Jenna, seemingly a little sauced, whispers to Elena that Damon is seriously hot. Damon, of course, hears this. Elena says he's an ass, and Damon, hearing this, rolls his eyes. Jenna asks what Elena's doing with all of the Gilbert stuff, and she says she was hoping there would be something about her birth parents. Jenna wants to know if Elena's told Jeremy yet, and she tells her that she will when the time is right. The doorbell rings, and Elena says it must be Stefan. Damon gets up to open the door with her. Stefan is surprised his brother is there, and Elena gives him a look.
Oh, boy.
Okay, a couple other things. Alex takes offense to the way Jeremy holds a video game controller. For lore about my partner, he used to be a streamer on Twitch, so video games are a huge part of his life. But he said it's clear that Stephen R. McQueen does not actually, like, at least in this point, really play video games, because he said when people like do this with the controller, it's that they like think it's going to help them move in a direction, but it doesn't actually, and so it shows you're a novice.
Oh, but it did he have anything to say about Ian Somerhalder? Was he holding it correctly?
He wasn't moving it back and forth, so I guess so.
Okay.
Maybe he's a gamer.
Maybe he is a gamer. Ian Somerhalder, let us know. Are you a gamer? Like, okay, so here's just my, again, I just seem, just so many questions, but like, okay, I was already unsure about Damon just being here for family night, but like, what is genuinely happening in this? Like, what is this dynamic? Like, it's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
And my best guess is that I feel like Damon's there monitoring Elena, looking for the journal. Yeah. Like, right? Like, I mean, that must be his purpose for being there, but it's just so weird that he shows up. He's like cooking dinner. Seemingly neither Elena nor Stefan are aware that was like his plan to just show up and do this. Jeremy and Jenna are just accepting that Damon's there at the house, like, with no further questions.
Well, they probably ate the leftovers of Stefan's chicken parmesan, and so they're probably like, okay, well, he probably learned how to cook from his older brother.
I guess so. I don't know.
And I guess clearly didn't.
And, well, I'm wondering, and this is just, like, a random little side tangent, and we have a lot to get through, so I'm just, okay, so Jenna, I don't know, do we ever, like, think about how old Jenna is? Like, do you think, like, Damon and Jenna are, like, I mean, they're obviously closer in age than...
She's always said to be Miranda, Elena's mom's kid sister, but, like, so, Elena's 17, so even though we know that her mom isn't her birth mom, if her dad was already a doctor at the point where she was born, and her parents, if they're the same age, she'd have to be like minimum 25 years older than Elena is. So that would make her, she would have been maybe in her early to mid 40s when she died. So I don't think it's possible that Jenna's 25. That feels like too huge of an age gap. But Jenna reads like 25 more than like 35.
Yeah, I don't think she can't. I think she's got to be somewhere between 25 and 30.
Which, I mean, my mom is from a family that has like a 20-year age gap, but that's when there's just two of them, that tends to be, that gap tends to be atypical.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But so there's a chance that they could, because what? We've deduced that Damon's 25 or 27? 4? Or is it 24? Oh, I forget.
I think he's 7 years older than Stefan.
Oh, so 24. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So she's probably like they're a little closer in age at least for her to be feeling like he's hot. Also, just the way that he's like proud of himself when Jenna's calling him hot, and then just when Elena calls him it's great. Top tier stuff for me. And okay. Next scene, bonded for life. We are at the grill, and Bonnie and Ben are on their date. They are talking about karaoke that they just did, and Ben makes a comment about next time next time they go to karaoke. Bonnie keys in on this and asks if there will be a next time, to which Ben says yes. They smile at each other, and then he asks what her friends are up to tonight, and she tells him that Caroline is at her dad's and Elena's with her boyfriend. He confirms Bonnie is talking about Elena Gilbert and says he remembers that they used to hang out. Bonnie says they are bonded for life, and Ben mentions that his high school friends moved away and they all are eventually lost touch. Bonnie is confident that won't happen with Elena because they're like sisters. She goes as far to say she'd die for her as Ben sips his coffee. They went to karaoke.
Do you think it was at the Rat?
Well, it wasn't
at the grill.
No, yeah, well, it definitely wasn't. I mean, yeah, which is like, I feel like a place where maybe karaoke would take place. But I mean, we deduced that we said that the Rat could be either or a dump or just like a really nice like venue.
It's just the only other one we know of.
But I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I like that. I feel like that sounds fun just to change it up.
Yeah. Also, I will just say that now obviously they went to karaoke, but like, taking Bonnie to the bar you work at for your first date.
So weird.
Yes, seems weird. All right.
But there's only really one bar in their town, I guess, apparently. I know. So
/ coffee shop. But there's a pizza place. Could have taken her for pizza.
True.
Maybe he doesn't go there now that Noah's dead and he doesn't get a discount.
That's probably true.
All right. Our next scene. Come on. Seize the day, Broomhilda. We're at the Gilbert residence. Outside, Damon asks Stefan who took the Gilbert journal from Alaric. He says there's something really off about that teacher, and Stefan tells him that Alaric doesn't know anything and someone got to the journal right before Stefan arrived. Damon asks who else knew the journal was with Alaric, and Stefan looks in the window at Jeremy inside. Damon heads in to talk to him, and Elena yells at him to leave her brother out of it. Ignoring her, Damon goes inside and sits on the arm of the sofa right by Jeremy. He asks about the journal. Jeremy questions if he's being serious. Elena then steps in, asking if anyone other than Mr. Saltzman knows about it. To which Jeremy says, "Why is everybody so obsessed with that thing?" Elena asks who else he told, and he says just that girl, Anna. Damon confirms that she's the hot, weird one that they were talking about earlier, and Stefan asks who she is. Damon says that's what he wants to find out. Elena's phone goes off and she leaves the room to answer it. Damon asks how Jeremy knows Anna, and he said he just does. Like, what a teen thing. Yeah. He then mentions she wants to meet at the grill, and Damon says he'll drive. Damon grabs Jeremy's arm, and they leave. Upstairs in her room, Elena tells Bonnie, who's the person on the other end of the phone, that she's alone and can talk. Bonnie says the date is going great and that Ben is a perfect gentleman. She tells Elena she wants to lay one on him, but she's chicken. Elena reminds her of her power and tells her to seize the day and calls her broom Hilda. Bonnie says she'll text Elena later with details. When they hang up, Stefan comes into Elena's room. She asks where Damon is, and he says he left to track down Jeremy's friend, Anna. Elena wants to know why Stefan didn't go with them, worried about Damon finding the journal first. But sneaky Stefan tells her it doesn't matter because he has a copy of the journal from Alaric. Okay. Questions. I feel like Stefan and Elena should be more concerned about Damon being alone with Jeremy than Bonnie's date at this moment and anything else.
Yeah.
Also, where is Jenna in all of this? Is she upstairs asleep after wine? What happened to the confusing meal that Damon was making? Is anyone eating here?
These are the questions.
And like, why doesn't Jeremy, like, Damon physically like grabs him, and Jeremy like doesn't really react. Like, I just think it's really weird.
It's just so.
What's happening?
Top to bottom strange
What's
stuff.
happening in this episode?
This episode has got some like funky stuff. Well, it's funny because we're like learning stuff from the past, which like has some questionable moves in it. Like some characters are making questionable choices, but like present day, same thing. Characters are making questionable choices, and I don't know. And Jeremy just like rolling. Like I feel like. I mean, I know he's been compelled to be a little more. I mean, I don't think he's been compelled to be more agreeable, but like he obviously, without having the weight of stuff that's happened in the earlier part of the season, he's not as like doom and gloom. So I guess he's a little more go with the flowy, but
he should have a bracelet on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did Damon, so that Damon shouldn't be able to compel him, and in that moment, he definitely hasn't compelled him. So
no, but I mean,
it just tracks weird.
Yeah, it just seems like he's just trusting of Damon. I guess I don't know. I guess he's over there hanging out, having dinner with his family, but not having dinner because we had not seen what dinner was. So I don't know. We have questions. It's confusing. On to our next scene. Cross my heart, hope to die. We are back at the grill. Jeremy meets up with Anna and they play pool. Across the room, Damon sits and watches them. We then move right back into a flashback in 1864 at the apothecary, and Anna sits on the porch doing needlework. Emily is also outside with her, but inside we have Pearl telling Katherine and Damon that the sheriff was there earlier and bought large volumes of vervain. Damon is confused by their casualness, and Katherine says thanks to Emily, they walk in the streets in daylight so no one will suspect them. Pearl says unless a human tells them, to which Damon says, tells them that they exist, Damon says, like, he'd rather die than tell, like, another human that they exist. And Katherine says, and soon enough, you will. And Katherine and Damon kiss. Anna comes in, warning them that Mrs. Fell is approaching, and Pearl thanks Annabelle, and mother and daughter hug. Back in the present day at the Mystic Grill, Damon watches Anna from the bar.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Important question. Why, when Anna comes into the apothecary, is she wearing a wicker bonnet over her fugly fabric one? Double bonnet?
Double bonnet.
What?
Double bonnet action? Is that like, I mean, is it a period appropriate? Like, maybe, I don't know. I didn't really do some bonnet shirts, but it doesn't
make any sense.
It's just it's just so weird. And it really does like just make her look like so like Bo Peepy.
Yeah, they're trying to make her look really young.
Yeah, they really are. And, it just makes her seem very like cheesy. It's just like definitely a choice, and I guess it's again like you said, making her seem really young, but like maybe it's just the times, and so she's trying to fit into that child, like that, like a girl of her age to like be very like yes, mama, like, but it's just very I don't know. gives me the ick a little bit. Also, a handsy sheriff sounds very gross because in the scene, Pearl does say that the sheriff is like handsy with her, which is just so gross. So whoever that sheriff is it a Forbes? I'm guessing it's definitely a Forbes. So Forbes' ancestor, gross.
Gross. All right, on to our next scene, to the grave. We're at the Gilbert residence. Elena and Stefan look through, and back in the present day. Elena and Stefan look through the copy of the Gilbert journal. She reads a section where Jonathan Gilbert says the Fells wanted him to protect the grimoire, but he was worried that Emily would haunt him. Giuseppe Salvatore said that he would protect the grimoire, carrying it to his grave. Elena clocks that this is Stefan's dad. Then we have a flashback to the Salvatore estate in 1864. Stefan finds his father in the study writing in his journal. He asks if he's interrupted his dad, and his father says, "These are the dull musings of my troubled mind." He says the real secrets he will carry to his grave, and a full grave it will be. He invites Stefan to join him and asks what's on his mind. Stefan tells his dad he has concerns about the plan for the vampires, saying the assumption is all vampires are evil, but what if that isn't true? Giuseppe asks if Stefan knows any vampires. Stefan says, of course not, but that they shouldn't take what others say at face value. Giuseppe gets up to pour a drink and says that these creatures are of the darkest parts of hell and that they must be destroyed. He adds that anyone who stands with them will bring shame to their families and will be destroyed as well. He holds a glass out to Stefan, they cheers, and Stefan drinks. Back in the present, Stefan tells Elena that he knows where the journal is.
Dang. Okay. So...
I mean, Giuseppe's definitely reading between those lines.
Oh, 1,000%. And I just, to that I say, Stefan, you sweet summer child, like, come on. Just doing this light insinuation about, like, not judging people at face value, like, at face value. It's just, tough stuff, my guy. But, so... Just something that as I was watching this episode multiple times, it becomes crazier to me. So just follow me on this. We hear in the excerpt from the journal that Elena reads that Jonathan Gilbert literally says Giuseppe will protect the grimoire, carrying it to his grave. And then they do the flashback. Okay, so they do the little flashback of saying this. And then Stefan says he knows where it is.
We are told like 5 times, carry to the grave, to the grave.
This feels redundant. And like, I understand that they wanted to. I of course, like this episode's very clearly wanting to show us a lot of back, like history from the past. But it's just like funny because it's like, yeah, well, duh. That's like what it says in the journal. Like as soon as everyone reads that line in the journal, we don't need to ponder on it. We can just go right to the grave. At least that's like in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
I concur.
Glad we're on the same page. Okay. Next scene, choking contest. We are at the motel in Mystic Falls. Anna locks the door to her room and Damon is waiting for her inside. He grabs her by the throat and she grabs him back. We see Damon straining and he finally surrenders. Anna releases him and says she was wondering how long it would take for him to find her. Just wild stuff there. I mean, clearly by vamp rules per Lexi, I mean, Anna was a vampire before Damon, so she's obviously definitely choking him out more than he's choking her out.
But she doesn't seem to be that much stronger than he is.
No, he is definitely putting up a little bit of a fight, but he does hold.
Yes, he does.
But it's just interesting. It's just, again, it's kind of funny. And we'll get into this later when we have our folklore section about child vampires. But it's, you know, she's so like small compared to him, and just her like choking him out is kind of fun. Anyway, on to our next scene. Daddy issues. We are at the cemetery and we are at Giuseppe Salvatore's grave. So Elena shines a flashlight on Giuseppe's tombstone while Stefan sets up torches around them. Once finished, he picks up 2 shovels and then looks at Elena. He tells her he can do this on his own, but she says she told him she'd do whatever she could to help, and that this is her home and she doesn't want the tomb opened any more than he does. He hands her the shovel, which she accepts, and he takes a moment to gather himself, and Elena apologizes that he has to dig up his dead dad. Tough stuff.
Our next scene, Vixen gets vervained. We are going back to 1864 to the Salvatore estate. Katherine sits in front of a vanity in her bedroom admiring an amber crystal. Stefan, sitting on her bed, asks if she got it from Damon. Clearly, he's jealous, but she says no, it's from Emily. And it is, in fact, the same crystal that we know and love. It's like Mysteries of the Crystal Part 7 at this point, right?
For real.
Katherine, a clapback queen, asks Stefan when he will stop worrying about his brother. He tells her he wants her all to himself, and she says so does Damon, but she's the one who gets to make all of the rules. They have flirty banter back and forth before Katherine climbs on top of Stefan, and she starts like kissing her way up from his stomach, going up to his chest, to his neck. Then she bites. She's feeding on him until suddenly she starts gasping and pulls away. He asks what's wrong, and she manages to say vervain. Stefan is confused as Katherine chokes and falls to the floor. He climbs down on the floor and tries to help her, calling her name, when his dad bursts in and tells him to go get the sheriff. When Stefan refuses, his father tells him that nothing he feels for her is real and that he fed him vervain to expose her. Stefan wants to know how his father figured it out, and he said Stefan's sympathy for the vampires. He tacks on that he didn't raise his sons to be weak. Giuseppe throws Stefan a shirt and tells him to get the sheriff. Stefan hesitates and looks down at Katherine before getting up and running out of the room. We move back to the present day where Stefan and Elena continue to dig up his dad.
Dang. Okay. So here's just my takeaway thought from this. Do you ever just sit back and think about how Damon and Stefan are both openly fucking the same woman in 1864, and they just absolutely rolling with, like, it seems like they're totally rolling with it, and like
his dad knows, it seems like the town knows,
like everyone knows.
So then why didn't his dad have suspicions about Katherine sooner? Yeah.
But to that I say, Katherine's a legend.
She is an absolute legend.
What a
but
legend.
Also, like, I am a little concerned based on that time frame that there might be some STDs that are being passed between this group.
Who has?
Well, Katherine.
Yeah, I mean, she's old.
She's an old bitch.
I'm sure she's seen some.
Well, like, I imagine she took Stefan's virginity. I doubt Damon was a virgin.
Yeah, no.
So
I don't know. He's a little dweeby.
Yeah, but he was off at war.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So
I
don't know.
Curious.
I mean, it's possible that they used lambskin condoms or whatever they had back then. But like,
real?
Yeah, that's real. don't.
I'm not gonna look it up.
But that's absolutely real.
What?
But like, I literally
just thought they just like, got it done and hoped and prayed.
There's probably a lot of
I know, like, a lot of like pulling out and just being like, well, I tried my best, and sometimes it worked and other times it didn't.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Woo! Oh man, it's getting hot in here, and it's actually because there's no air conditioning on while we're recording in this room, but it's also hot in this episode. Anyway, on to our next scene. All poser slayer with that compass, and we are back at the Mystic Falls Motel. Damon asks Anna how long she's been in Mystic Falls, and she says she arrived around 5:30 Comet, which I think is actually kind of fun little line that she says, and watches him, and she's been watching him screw up every chance he's had to open the tomb. He wants to know how she knew about the spell, to which Anna says she didn't talk much back then, but she listened. He asks if she's been there the whole time and why their paths are just crossing now, and she says she likes to make others do her dirty work. Damon puts two and two together, realizing she's the one who turned Logan Scumfell. Gone but never forgotten, Logan.
I wish we could forget him.
Anna says Logan was an idiot, and they started slipping him blood when he got all poser slayer with that compass, and shares that she wanted his ancestor's journal, thinking that the grimoire information would be in there. And at Damon's urging, because he's asking why, and that's how she responds with. And then she was wrong because it was not in that journal. So according to Honoria Fell's journal. She gave that grimoire to Jonathan Gilbert, and she pulls out the Gilbert journal and says that Jonathan Gilbert gave it to Giuseppe Salvatore, and she tells him that he's going to help her find it. And Damon asks why he would help her and says because they both want the tomb open. She hands him the journal to read for himself, and he looks at it, then closes it and puts it down and says, "Sorry, but I work alone." And he leaves the hotel room.
Sorry, I work alone should be Damon's catchphrase.
Definitely. He's really something. Also, like, why would Anna assume that, like, he'd just, like, automatically be on his side for, like, I mean, I guess because they are united in, like, what they're looking to do,
Yeah.
but I also find it very interesting that Anna's been here for far longer than we've been aware of, like, and I just say, like, if I cared about Anna more as a character, it'd be cool to see the Anna cut of all of this stuff.
But we don't.
But
so
we don't really care about her that much at this juncture, so never mind.
Moving into our next scene, Kiss and Kidnap. We're at the grill. Ben tells Bonnie he paid the bill and asks what she wants to do.
Wait, I just have to say, at least he paid the bill instead of Elena.
He probably got a discount.
Instead of Elena.
But I know. She says this and smooches him, but she pulls away with a scared look on her face. He asks what's wrong, and she makes up an excuse, saying she should have waited until the end of the night to do that. He tells her he didn't mind. She gets real confusing for me. She's like, "I'm getting tired," but then he's like, "Oh, do you want to go?" And she's like, "No, let's go get coffee, get a caffeine buzz, and do something crazy." She says she needs to run to the restroom first, though. Ben sits back down at the table they were at as she walks away, looking over her shoulder. She ends up walking right into him with his full vamp face on. He grabs her, covers her mouth, and drags her into the restroom, seemingly without anyone noticing.
Which I feel like is so wild because I really feel like that place is always packed. Like, would someone not see that?
Right. And I guess Jeremy's not there anymore. Like, there were so many characters we knew at the grill, so the timing is confusing. But, okay. Real bummer for Bonnie that she's having this great date, and it turns out he's a vampire, and he's playing her. I actually think she played the whole thing off really well, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't buy it, especially given the other scenes we've seen with him with Anna. Like, he's not, I'm not going to call him dumb, but he's definitely not quick on the uptake.
Yeah, for sure. I know. That's like, I completely agree. Like, Bonnie is a much better liar than Elena is. And, like, even after her, like, momentary realization, she plays it so cool. And then does what a real smart person would do, is, like, maneuvering to get herself to safety.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, she did not deserve to get kidnapped. But, like, Elena deserved to be made out with Damon. But we'll talk about that more in a future scene. Okay. I love this. So in our document, Christina wrote, like, because we have our little, like, names that says, like, Christina and Brenna, like, when we switch up, but she wrote Bonnie, and I was like, I'm leaving it, and I'm obsessed. So it's just incredible stuff from our lovely sister.
You are as good of a friend as Bonnie.
I hope so. I aspire to be. So thank you. I feel like that was you being like, yes, like, we're simpatico in that way.
Bonnie, crochet.
But it's like, truly, I was upset. I was like, I gotta leave it in. But since Bonnie's not here with us today, I will be reading this scene. So, Graveside Gamble. We are at the cemetery at Giuseppe's grave once again. Stefan's shovel hits something solid, and Elena shines the flashlight at Stefan, uses his hands to clear dirt from his dad's coffin. He opens it, and we see a skeleton holding the grimoire. Taking the grimoire, he closes the coffin and sits back teary-eyed. This is tough. He actually is doing, like, Paul Vasili's doing some pretty good, like, cry acting here. He then stands and puts the grimoire on the dirt by Elena's feet. He opens it and starts flipping through the spellbook as Damon approaches, pissed. Yikes. Cut to a commercial break, and when we're back, Stefan admits that he can't let Damon bring Katherine back, and he apologizes. Damon says he's sorry he ever thought he could trust Stefan, and Stefan fires back that Damon isn't capable of trust, and him being here means he read the journal and was going to do it by himself. Damon says that of course he was going to do it himself because he's the only one he can count on, and adds that Stefan made sure of that many years ago. He then addresses Elena, saying that she had him fooled. Did she? Did she?
She didn't have us fooled.
She did not have us fooled. He looks hurt and she looks guilty. Damon asks Stefan what he's going to do because if he tries to destroy the grimoire, he'll rip out Elena's heart. Stefan calls his bluff and Damon vamp speeds over to Elena and grabs her from behind and puts her in a chokehold.
So much choking.
A lot of choking in this episode. And he force feeds her his blood and says, "Give me the book, Stefan, or I'm snapping her neck, and you and I will have a vampire girlfriend." Oh my goodness. Stefan says he won't give him the grimoire until Elena is standing next to him, and Damon says he doesn't trust that Stefan will give it back. To which he says to Damon that that Damon just did the one thing that ensures he will, and Stefan slowly places the grimoire on the ground and reaches for Elena. Damon presses his face to Elena's hair and hesitates, making us think he might not let her go. But he then slowly releases her as she edges away from him before jumping over the grave and into Stefan's arms. Holding her, Stefan leads Elena away. Damon remains by the open grave and retrieves the grimoire. As he's standing there, he seems to be thinking of 1864.
All right. So impulsive Damon playing with
100%.
Elena's life. Yeah.
I just sorry. So here's the thing. We didn't write it in the breakdown, but at the top of this scene, Elena starts saying something, smiling as they're digging up Stefan's grave about their
Stefan's dad's grave.
She's literally most girls haven't done this, and I'm like, girl, what? Stop! He's digging up his dead dad.
This is a lot for him.
This isn't time to talk about teen romance.
No,
Elena, come on, girl.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right, this is my other thing. How did Damon get duped by Elena and not Ben getting duped by Bonnie? It's the biggest egregious thing in this episode to me.
It makes no sense.
She is real sad about it though.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do also love that Damon assumes that by turning Elena into a vampire that they will both get to date her, because that's the way he says it. It's so weird.
We'll both have a vampire girlfriend.
And then another thing, Damon had to make sure he sniffed her hair one more time before letting her go.
One last sniff.
It's so
weird.
He's a hair guy.
That's his fetish. Oh.
Who else? Is there anyone else that is a hair guy? We're gonna keep an eye on this hair play. It's weird. It's weird. Okay.
Oh. All right. Next scene. Then let me be killed. So we move into a flashback in 1864, Mystic Falls. A mob is traversing down the road with torches and guns in search of vampires, with Jonathan Gilbert holding the compass at the front of the group. Inside the Salvatore estate, Giuseppe is placing a mask, a muzzle, onto Katherine that matches the one we saw Elena discover in her father's things earlier in the episode. That's not looking good for your ancestors, Elena. I'm just saying. Not a good look. Not a good look.
Yikes.
Damon runs desperately into the room and pleads that they don't take her, and Giuseppe pushes him up to the wall to stop him, saying that if he's branded a vampire sympathizer, the town will kill him alongside them. Damon says to his father, "Then let me be killed." Back in the present, we see Damon in the cemetery, looking at his father's dug-up grave, gives it a sneer, and walks away. Okay. This is so random, and I didn't notice it until my final watch today. But from when Stefan leaves to go get the sheriff, and when Katherine is being carried out of the estate, muzzled, she is wearing a robe. So Giuseppe took the time to cover her. And I know it's 1864. These people seem religious, etc. But it feels like he wouldn't want to cover up her indecency because he wants her dead. He wants her to come across as the immoral creature that she is.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just was like you
choice.
Had time to get her rope?
Yeah, just cover her up. We can't let the men see her. I mean, she is hot, so maybe he's just trying to like protect the men from feeling feelings
no
about
vamp
her.
titties.
I feel like that feels correct because it's always somehow a woman's fault for looking hot. So
always.
Oh man. Okay. On to our next scene, bloody hangover. We're at the Gilbert residence, and Stefan is at the Gilbert residence with Elena as she's in the bathroom looking for some aspirin. She says she has a headache after ingesting some of Damon's blood. She asks if her head is supposed to hurt like this, and Stefan says it was a small amount of blood and that she'll be fine and it'll pass through her system by tomorrow. Elena asks if he's okay, noticing that he kind of just is like looking kind of distant and off, and he says that Damon was right, that this is his fault.
I just think it's kind of surprising this is the first time that Elena's had vampire blood.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I agree. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the fact that Damon didn't give her any of his blood to fucking heal her head and her concussion from the road trip episode, confusing stuff. Yep. Okay. Next scene, brotherly betrayal. Mystic Falls, 1864. We're outside and two men are carrying a muzzled Katherine into a cart.
A robed
muzzled guy. Because the only thing I can think of is like, it is a muzzle. I mean, I looked it up on
absolutely a muzzle.
I looked it up on the Vampire Diaries wiki, and they do call it a muzzle.
Yeah.
She's getting ushered into the cart, muzzled. Damon is running anxiously toward it to save her, but Stefan stops him, telling Damon that he will help him get her back. Damon is upset that Stefan let on to their father about Katherine, and he says he didn't think this would happen. And Stefan admits that he doesn't think that this would have happened. And Damon blames Stefan for this and runs off. Though I do like your initial point that it feels like it was a combo because Damon obviously clearly already knew about what vampires were and urges his dad. Yeah, exactly.
Technically, Stefan did not break his promise. I'm going to say that again in our final thoughts and hot takes because, of course, I understand why Damon is upset with him and blames him.
Yeah.
But just saying, technically, Stefan said, no, I don't know any vampires. I am just saying this to you. So he did not bring up Katherine, right? And while obviously Damon doesn't see it this way, I can totally see his character being like, oh, well, I said I wasn't going to do X, but I did Y.
Yeah.
Like, so see, I didn't break my promise. I could see Damon doing that and to not kind of give Stefan that slack.
Yeah.
You're like.
It's so true.
You know.
So true.
But next scene. Let the wrong one in. We are at the Gilbert residence in the present day. Stefan echoes Damon's sentiments to Elena from the past and says that it's his fault because Damon put his faith in his brother and Stefan destroyed that. Elena comforts him saying it isn't his fault and that he didn't do anything wrong. They kiss and Stefan heads downstairs to get Elena some aspirin while she goes to lay on her bed. We follow Stefan downstairs where he sees Jenna and she tells him he's not staying the night, but he says they're just going to hang out for a little while. She says to keep the door open and he agrees. Hey, we've seen what they can do with the door open.
Oh, yeah.
And he agrees and then asks her for some aspirin and she goes to get it. Jeremy walks into the room and greets Stefan and asks Jenna where she went. And Jenna says the bathroom. Stefan asks who, and Jenna says that Jeremy has a friend over, and Jeremy says Anna. Stefan's face washes over with concern. Also, is this the longest night that ever happened?
It really is.
It had to have taken time for them to dig up the grave. It's post-dinner time.
Yep.
Jeremy was at the grill with Anna. She had time to go back to the motel, and now she's over? What time is it?
I don't know, but that's how I felt outlining this episode this week. It's like it feels long.
Yeah, it feels long.
There's a lot of back and forth between the present day and the past, so that's probably why. But it also, in universe, was a long night.
Mm-hmm. But we're getting into those final scenes.
Final scenes coming up right at you. This next scene is called I'm Going to Protect Them. And we are back in Mystic Falls in 1864. We see Anna and Pearl looking at the mob in search of vampires. Pearl instructs Anna to get Emily and to stay hidden and ensures she'll get them all out of Mystic Falls. Anna obliges and runs off to find Emily. Pearl makes a move to grab a horse for an escape until she is spotted by Jonathan Gilbert. He seems excited at the town going mad, rounding up the demons, and he's holding his watch/compass and notices that the device is fluttering and settles on Pearl. He's dismayed as Pearl pleads with him to not do anything about it, but he calls out to the mob anyway, saying he's found another one as Pearl tries to escape, but he shoots her with what we can assume was a wooden bullet, and she falls. Hidden, Anna and Emily watch on. Anna calls out for her mother, but Emily covers her mouth so they won't be found. Stefan is also on the scene looking on at all of this, obviously very concerned and worried. Men come to capture Pearl with another vampire muzzle, just as they had with Katherine, and they take her away. Anna is distressed, but Emily assures her that she'll see her mom again and that she already knows how to protect them and that she will. And then we see Stefan continue to look around in horror and catch sight of Emily and Anna in the distance.
Okay, real talk. Pearl, you're a vampire.
Literally.
Run away immediately. Also, you don't need a horse.
No.
You have vamp speed.
Right. And you can also, you and your daughter both have vamp speed because you're vampires. And I believe we have seen this before. I'm pretty sure, if we haven't seen it yet, I'm sure it happens at some point. I'm pretty sure that can translate. If they pick up Emily, they can bring Emily with vamp speed.
Oh, I'm sure they could.
I think so.
And then, but it's also they're tucked away. So don't go towards the mob. And as soon as you see Jonathan, run away.
Yeah.
So fast that he doesn't have time to react. She stays so long before she tries to run, and then she just tries to run normally. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
I also, and we can talk about this more during our final thoughts, but I do really struggle in this episode to understand how the founding families know this much information at this time. Jonathan Gilbert says it's not magic, it's science. But truly, how does the compass work?
Yeah.
And then how do they know about wooden bullets? Because if the only vampires, as far as we know it, are Katherine, Pearl, and Anna. I mean, I guess Noah was around somewhere. Surprising we don't see him in a flashback. But so there were some others. But all of the vampires we know were either entombed or are still undead.
Right. Yeah.
145 years later. So I'm
yeah.
How were they learning this? How are they testing this?
Yeah, I agree. And I definitely want to talk about that in our final thoughts because it's worth kind of breaking down for sure. Okay. On to our next scene. And I think it's our final one.
Sure is.
Gone, baby, gone. We're at the Gilbert residence. And we cut back to present day, and Stefan puts the pieces together, running with vamp speed upstairs to find Elena, but she's unfortunately missing. And that's where this week's episode ends. Just a missing Elena and a missing Bonnie also.
Yeah. She's got to stop getting kidnapped by vampires.
Truly. My goodness. Well,
we did it.
Yeah, we did do it. This was a long episode. It felt like a long episode. We'll see how the time run goes this week, but we've got some thoughts, so we'll definitely get into that after we do some folklore.
All right, let's get into folklore for this week's episode. So, as Brenna mentioned during our deep dive, this week we're looking into vampire kitties. So, in honor of this week's episode titled Children of the Damned and learning more about Anna and her mother in 1864, we decided to explore this. From what we can glean, Anna's probably not too much younger or about the same age as Jeremy, maybe 14 to 15. It's very clear from this episode's flashback that Anna is viewed and treated as much younger, though, than the rest of the characters who are 17 and older. So we thought it'd be fun to look into some folklore and contemporary depictions of child vampires.
So before we get into some contemporary depictions of child vampires, we wanted to take a little look at some Balkan folklore where there are examples of actual children vampires called dampirs, which are children typically born from a human woman and a male vampire, though there have been depictions with a human man and a female vampire as well. Dampiers have been explored through the book series and film, and also a TV show that I think also existed or exists. I'm not sure if it's still running on Paramount Plus, Vampire Academy. Have you ever read those books?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I?
Okay. Side tangent on Vampire Academy. I actually I really loved those books when I was younger. I didn't read all of them, but I read a decent amount of them, and this was well before the movie ever came out or the TV show or anything. But it was a fun romp. It's some fun. Speaking of vampire folklore, the stuff they're doing there is very cool and has very Slavic background to a Slavic view to the way that they handle their vampire situation. It's very cool. But they have Dampiers, cool. And the protagonist, I think her name's Rose. I think I should have fact checked that, but I'm almost certain that that's the protagonist's name. But they are but Rose and other Dampiers are in the Vampire Academy universe are tasked to protect the Moroi, who are benevolent vampires that are actually in more or less they are kind of function like humans. They do have they are more mortal, even though they are vampires. And then they're kind of different from the Strigoi, which are immortal vampires that are more evil and kind of more closely related to what we would consider a vampire in most other folklore. But very cool stuff. Maybe at some point we'll dig into some of that because that could be fun for folklore. But I just thought that would be fun to just say okay, so that would be an example of a child, a child vampire, but kind of a hybrid in a way, like a human vampire hybrid. But however, it seems Anna is Pearl's biological daughter, which means that Anna was turned just like her mother was, and only just as a younger person instead of a near adult. And in the present day, she's not as infantilized as she was in 1864, but it's clear that since she reads younger, that it could be a difficult way of living for an immortal being to inhabit an eternal child or teen body.
And I was looking online, we've guessed kind of her age range just based off of the fact that she is dressed and appears very young in the 1864 flashbacks, and obviously is hanging out with Jeremy, so positing her to be about that age. But there doesn't appear to be concrete information or a background for Anna online. Some speculate that she is, we think, Pearl's biological child, while others believe that Pearl was already a vampire and that she adopted her at some point.
Okay.
And part of this is the choke match, which we talked about, when we were doing the deep dive, is that Pearl has certainly, it seems like someone who's been a vampire for a long time. At least she seems to be very confident in that role. And so if Anna's also been a vampire for a long time, she would be significantly stronger than Damon. Yeah. She certainly appears to be stronger, but it would make sense. It would be more like Lexi, where he's no match for her.
Right. For sure.
And I did find online that there's in the book, so in the offshoot of the Vampire Diaries books, there's the Stefan Diaries, and according to the internet, there is more information about Anna and Pearl that is not explored in the TV show. And in that, Pearl's 540 years old or something.
Oh, fun.
And I think Anna's also supposed to be older.
Yeah, I thought I saw that too. Actually, I think I might actually have her. I happen to have her TVD wiki page up. It also has her, age unknown, 540 plus is what it says.
So then that choke contest would be no contest, but so interesting. And then to move us into some contemporary depictions of child vampires, we have to talk about Stephanie Meyer's Twilight universe. We've spoken before in the podcast about the Volturi, which is the ruling vampire coven based in Italy in the series, and they enforce laws to keep vampires hidden from humans. So one of their most important rules in this universe is about vampire children. Creating immortal children is forbidden in this world because an immortal child is a newborn vampire whose mind is frozen at a young age and they're unable to control their instincts. So they can't be taught. Like, you can tell them the vampire law, but they're like a really, really old dog, like that can't learn new tricks kind of thing, but they're really, really young. So these children are unpredictable and can easily expose vampires to humans. Makes sense. So the Volturi considers this the ultimate taboo. To create such a child is, in fact, in this world, punishable by death for both the child and the creator. And we see this explored in Breaking Dawn in the book, but then in terms of the films, we specifically see it in Breaking Dawn Part 2. With Renesmee Cullen, Edward and Bella's child. She's half human, half vampire. However, Irina, who is a vampire from the Denali Coven, sees Renesmee and believes she's an immortal child. So she reports the Cullens to the Volturi, and the council travels to Forks, Washington to assess Renesmee. And if she is in fact an immortal child, they would kill her, Edward and Bella, and anyone who's fighting for them. Alice, Edward's sister, is able to stop the brewing battle by bringing Nowell. I don't remember how they say his name in the movie, but he is someone who's half vampire, half human, and he and his line, like his family, is proof that half-breeds exist and they are not a threat.
Fun. So in a way, Renesmee would be a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, she is a child vampire.
Yeah, born from
she's born from a human and a vampire.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, but is Bella a vampire? She's not a vampire.
She's now a vampire,
but she's
human when she gives birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
One day, guys, we will do a watch along so I can also know what actually happens in Twilight.
So now, of course, it's one of those, like, how did Edward get her pregnant? They didn't think that was possible, but like the female vampires can't get pregnant. So it's real messed up. It kind of feels like echoing biology and how men can have spawn until they're 90 years old, and femme people lose their eggs and everything. Freaking Renesmee.
Renesmee. The only thing I know about Renesmee is how fucking scary she looks. And that is like, if I saw that like in a room, I would be terrified.
You just walk out.
I just it couldn't be me. Goodbye. I gotta go.
Oh man.
Oh, she's so scary.
Yeah, I genuinely don't really care about her. Sorry. But I do get really like emotional when Bella's like dying, having given birth to a vampire who's literally feeding on her blood. And it is very emotionally charged.
Dang. All right. Well,
I think it's time for a Twilight rewatch.
Genuinely can't wait.
And a Brenna first watch.
Genuinely can't wait till we do like bonus episodes where we can do that, because it'll be a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess so. Similarly, like that's this concept in Twilight is not the only property that explores kind of the taboo that exists around vampire children. So a little older in time, if we take it back, because Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire was published well before the Twilight series, but if anyone remembers, or if you haven't read or watched the show, we also have a child vampire in this property, and Lestat, the vampire Lestat, turns a child named Claudia into a vampire who in a manipulative move to bind Louis to him after knowing Louis is looking to have a family, or kind of is looking for this just to expand their lives as they live them together. In the book, Claudia is ill when she's turned, and in the current TV adaptation, she's rescued by from a fire by Louis, and then is turned by Lestat. But in both adaptations, her being turned is used as the manipulation tactic, like I said. However, in all adaptations of the story, it's clear that Claudia is not happy being trapped in a childlike body for how old she is, and this ultimately results in her resentments for not only Lestat, but Louis as well. Like, it just ends up being this resentment built up over time, and does even lead to, like, her attempting to kill Lestat for, like, how angry or how, like, upset she is about being trapped this way. And it is, like, a big plot point, I feel like, in all of, like, in the movie too. Like, there's just, like, a whole little, like, have you ever seen the Interview with a Vampire movie, like the Brad Pitt?
I have. It's just been a long time.
Yeah, because I it's been a few years for me, but, like, I do remember just, like, that being also, like, a pretty big plot point in the story at one point of her being so upset. So I wanted to talk about this because I actually was, like, looking around on this, like, little YouTube video that I'll cite the YouTuber. It was it's called, the YouTube is called Vampire Folklore, so maybe have to explore further with that channel. Thanks so much, Vampire Folklore. But I learned from that video that Claudia in the book is supposed to be 11 years old when she's turned, or
Okay.
11, or sorry, not in the book, sorry, in the
film.
film, she's supposed to be 11. So Kirsten Dunst's Claudia is supposed to be 11 when she's turned, okay? And then in the series, Claudia, played by Bailey Bass in season 1 and Delaney Hayes in season 2 of Interview with a Vampire, she's supposed to be 14. But in the book, when Claudia is turned, she's 5.
No,
Yikes.
thank you.
I'm actually I'm not because of this, I'm very intrigued I've never read Interview with a Vampire. I really want to read, like, I want to read that series, but just a lot. So very similarly to the Volturi, the reason why, like, being trapped in a child's body puts vampires like, who are transformed at this point into this, like, stuck in this forever prison of being a small person. And they're, at least in the Vampire Chronicles universe, like, their minds, like, do mentally age. So, like, so they just completely, they're trapped, right? Because it's like they're still gaining wisdom like any person would, as they are as they get older in, like, mental years, but physically nothing changes. And I guess because it sounds like from the Volturi part, like, the child's kind of trapped with those, like, childlike instincts. Is that, like, or do they?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, if you were to turn.
Yeah, if you were
turn one. But Renesmee will age normally.
Right, because she doesn't quite fit into that. But yeah, it sounds like they're kind of trapped even in temperament, right, with the Volturi. But for this, it's, like, kind of almost like a different kind of horrible, because it is, like, this mind that's getting older, and they can't change. So and that's where Claudia's, like, just very much
some very uncomfortable sexual stuff with Claudia.
Yes, and and much like in Twilight, the Vampire Chronicles, vampire clans are also against turning a child vampire, and are set on killing Claudia as soon as they recognize that she's a vampire, because they're only supposed to turn individuals who are inhabiting a more adult body, because of the abomination of just, like, being trapped in a small body.
Also, Claudia's so annoying.
She, in all of the adaptations, or which I kind of like her in the show, but, like, I mean,
she's really annoying in season 1.
Yeah, I mean, she's a lot, but
I mean, the actress is doing a great job, but her character's so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of, like, meant to be.
I remember, it's been I said, a long time since I watched the movie, but I remember Kirsten Dunst being, like, real bratty.
She was real bratty, but it gets like weird as they get older because she is like obviously wanting to like be with men and like stuff, and then you're just kind of like,
no,
gross.
And then Rice, she loved to write about all kinds of things,
and then it's just like even weirder knowing that like she was turned at 5. Okay. But yes, and there are like, so yeah, there is like a vampire clan, I guess, like in the series. I didn't put too much in here, honestly. I know this selfishly because I do want to read these books, so I didn't like tried to give like a high level view without without spoiling myself on like the finer details. But yeah, it just seems like people or like vampire clans want to go after her and like kill her. But yeah, so just anyway, if you're trying to turn humans into vampires, don't do it to children.
It seems like a no across the board.
Yeah, it seems like we don't just want to do, really, if you're an adult, don't do anything with children. That's just the rule of thumb. Just leave children alone. Don't be weird. That's it. All right, are we ready to go with our final final thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine are kind of going to jump all over the episode, but I'll just start with what I put in first. So even though what Damon does at the end of the episode is unforgivable in forcing Elena to drink his blood and threatening to snap her neck and turning into a vampire, I do actually really feel for him. I'm not totally sure why, as we talked about, that he trusts her, right? Because she was not convincing, but he did really trust her, and that cuts deeply. And I feel like he was trusting Elena more so than Stefan, but I feel like he maybe wasn't like fully in on trusting his brother, but I think he really wanted to trust his brother.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking. I also, of course, feel for Stefan as well. Digging up your dad, betraying your brother. I'm sure being overwhelmed by everything coming up from the past. That's a lot. And like, he's trying to do the right thing, so I can't fault him.
Yeah.
But, I just want our boys to get along. I just truly, even if they have ulterior motives, can they just, for our sakes, can our babies get along?
Can we just have them on the same team for once?
That's what I'm saying, right? I really miss Caroline. She needs to come back from her dad's.
Yeah.
And I wish Bonnie was in the episode for more than her date / kidnapping.
Yeah. I was missing them. They're just always a delight when we get more screen time with the two of them.
Also, especially I'm not really, I know we're both kind of like, with Caroline and Matt, but like to have that at the end of like the episode before this, and I'm like,
yeah, where's that going?
Come on. I don't miss Matt, so Tyler.
Tyler's been really just not here.
He's coaching the football team.
He is very busy coaching that team into the ground, apparently, because they're not doing well.
Yeah.
So,
as kind of the theme of this episode in particular, I have questions. I'm confused about Jeremy deciding to hang out with Anna after, like, how weird she's been, how pushy she's been, how stalkerish she's been, and, like, to the point of inviting her back to the house. Like, he does not seem persuaded by Damon's, like, hot Trump's weird, and he doesn't also seem to acknowledge Damon and watching them at the girl, but he knows, doesn't he know that Damon's pretty clear he was driving him because he wants to figure out who Anna is for the journal. And in theory, right, he has a bracelet by now, so he can't be compelled. So I'm just kind of, why is he suddenly giving Anna a chance? Why is he bringing her back to his house? What time is it? And why is he so okay with Damon being there? It's weird.
It's there's so many questions with this episode.
Zero answers.
Zero answers.
My sweet, naive Stefan, to take it back to 1864, thinking that he could talk to his father, appealing to his sense of morality without tipping off about vampires and breaking his promise to Damon. Like, oh, sweetie. But my hot take is that Katherine listened in on his conversation with Damon at, I put crochet again, at croquet/crochet, and likely other times too. So she knew there was at least a chance that he'd do something like this, right? He is the honorable brother, right? So my real question is, why wouldn't she compel him to not say anything, or even like, you don't know about vampires, you have no sympathy for vampires, like, it's not that hard, and it does feel like an example of her potentially being overconfident or just being careless, or them writing her kind of dumb when everything tells us it's the contrary. She's very smart. She's very cunning.
She's very cunning. Cunning's a good word to use for her.
Okay, what else? Emily seems to be in control / helping the vampires because she wants to in this episode, which is really interesting. I wish we got more from her perspective, because I want to know why. Why does she have a plan to protect them? Why does she care? Why is she sticking her neck out for them?
This is the case where I would like to get the Emily Bennett cut of what's going on.
Well, I already wanted it, but yeah.
Yeah, like this is I would like to know.
Right. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but what we've been told, I'm not saying I don't believe it, because we're told it repeatedly, that like, we're even told it from her that she made this deal with Damon, but it feels like she already had a plan separate from that.
Yeah.
And so I almost feel like maybe it's rewriting history a little bit. But I'm like, what's her motivation? Obviously, we know with Damon, the deal was to protect her ancestors. But yeah, she just seems like really in. Like, she's all like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
and like,
smiling coyly, like with Katherine's, like being with both brothers, and like seems very in cahoots.
She is very in cahoots.
Yeah,
cahooting she is. Even with the brother, like when she's like, I'll go tell both brother. Like, it's like, okay, girl, okay, do it.
I already kind of talked about this, but I truly have so many questions about how the vampire compass works and how the founding families figured it out.
Apparently, it's science, not magic, Christina.
Yeah, tell me more.
What is the science behind this? This is definitely still in the times where, I don't know. I mean, it's in, 1800s. So, I mean, they definitely had science. But, like, I'm just saying.
They definitely had science, yeah.
But I feel like they still were, like, they didn't have it a lot figured out. So, I'm not sure what science they were using to do this. Or maybe it's some kind of signature that the vampires give off, I'm guessing.
Right, it's like, well, what makes the compass find vampires? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Because they don't have, like, a heartbeat.
No. So it's like it must, which then here's the other thing. If there is some kind of signature or marker that like vampires give off that would set off the compass, then that would mean that there's some kind of signature the vampires give off. So when we have in the last episode, when Elena's asking Stefan about if vampires can sense each other, then that would stand that they could.
Yeah, it just seems really convenient for writing.
Loosey-goosey. But then we've got our girl Bon over there who's just one smooch and she knows something's off.
Yeah.
Because she can because she has the clairsentience. Clairsentience.
Yeah.
To know that something's not good. So does that mean that they didn't touch all date until that moment before she knew that?
Maybe.
Must be. Wow. Hey.
They didn't sing a duet at karaoke.
No, or hold hands or any of that. So,
yeah. Okay. Moving on, before Damon, arrives at his dad's grave and realizes that Stefan and Elena were working separately from him, working behind his back, he had already figured out, like, that who Anna was. So I feel like, he's so sad Like, genuinely, he's so sad. But he's so angry and bent out of shape that they were working, you know, behind his back and was like, I trusted you, basically. And I mean, Stefan brings up, he's like, well, you're here, which means you were planning to do this behind our backs. But then he also goes to Anna, doesn't tell them anything about it. And that seems like really relevant information to give your teammates, especially since she gets invited in thanks to you bringing Jeremy to her and saying hot trumps weird. And then she kidnaps Elena, who has your blood in her system.
Just really complicated.
And like, Damon knows, if he's paused to even think about it for a second, that crosses a line with Elena.
1,000%. Oh, it's just messy.
So, yikes. And then my final kind of, it's mostly questions.
My final thoughts that are all mostly questions.
Is why does Anna want Elena? Is it to make the Salvatore brothers help her? That is what seems the most plausible. However, do you know what doesn't make any sense? Why she doesn't just follow Damon to Giuseppe's grave, right? When he's really like, I work alone. She has proven she is sneaky sneak. She has been around since Half Past Comment. She has been there and no one's noticed her. And like, yes, she said that she likes to make other people do work for her, but she's obviously been doing work herself. So I actually feel like hanging out with Jeremy, getting yourself invited into his house, waiting for his sister to come home, kidnapping her is more work than just trailing Damon to the cemetery.
I'll do you one better.
Okay. Lay it on me.
In the fucking journal, it says where the fucking grimoire is.
Right.
Because about Giuseppe taking it to his grave.
Right.
She could have read those. If she's given Ben all this shit.
If she's as observant as she's supposed to be.
She's kind of, she's bagging on Ben about him not paying attention. But if she just took 5 minutes to read the damn journal, she too could also find Giuseppe's grave and go digging.
Right.
It's right there.
It just seems like taking Elena so much more work. And also, like, how are you going to explain to Jeremy that you were gone when you didn't come back downstairs? Because allegedly they still only have a bathroom upstairs. It makes no sense. So those
that has to have like a basement and also a first floor bathroom.
Has to. But yeah, so those are my hot takes, thoughts, and many questions.
Hot takes, thoughts, and questions.
Answers.
Do we need to change this section to instead
hot
of being
questions?
Hot takes, final thoughts, and we have some questions because we might need to.
Hot questions.
Hot questions. Honestly, my favorite kind. Okay.
What about you?
All right. So here are some of mine. So in the beginning of the episode where Damon makes references to them being a menage a threesome and going right into the backstory of the brothers intertwined with Katherine is a fun way to explore their history with their old flame and now like Elena. And Damon wanting to make, and then like, of course, later in the episode, Damon like, threatening to make Elena a vampire is volatile, but from like when I was talking about this earlier in the episode, he like says that they'll have a vampire girlfriend. It's intriguing in his mind that he'd also have Elena too if he turned her. Very interesting stuff. It's a heightened moment for sure, but these brothers clearly have no qualms with sharing the same girl. So
or STDs.
So it seems like Damon, especially for how close he's gotten to Elena, sniffs and all, is knowingly or unknowingly falling for Elena.
Oh, yes.
Sniffs and all.
Sniffs and all.
Because, like...
she just smells so good.
It's just like, well, I mean, you know what? Wait. Logan Scumfell says he wants to, when he's talking about Jenna, he says, I want to, like, sniff her. Or doesn't he say that he wants to sniff her? Or, like, or eat her or bite her and stuff?
Yeah, he wants to,
Did
like,
he say
kiss
sniff
her
or maybe not?
No,
no, kiss her. Well, I was just thinking he was one. I feel like just vampires want to sniff. He seems like a sniffer, too.
Oh, my God. What if Damon, like, in that moment, if it was a parody of that moment, he, like, sniffs her hair and is like, is this lavender?
Yeah, like truly. I'm like, what are you sniffing, my guy? What is it? Okay. So, but I do feel like there is some, and I think that's also why the betrayal hurts, is because I think he's subtly also falling for it's falling for Elena and
the
the
charms
way
of this girl that we don't understand.
Who looks just like their dead ex-girlfriend. I don't know. It's just so messy. Okay. So, other thought. In the TV show Pantheon of Bad Dads, Giuseppe Salvatore is up there. He's the fucking worst. I've never, like, I know you brought up him being in Sex and the City. I've never had seen that show, like I said earlier, but this actor definitely embodies the worst fucking dad
Richard
ever.
sucks too, so.
Oh, okay, cool. So he just, like, why didn't the brothers just, like, punch him in the face or, like, have Katherine compel him to, like, not be, like, shitty? Like, what are we doing? Like, pre-revenge? I mean, unless he knew so long beforehand. But to your point again, how long have they all known? Like, how long has the council known about vampires when, like, they're kind of the first vampires on the scene? So it would stand to reason that it would take a while to figure out that they're... I mean, I guess the only thing they've got going is the deaths.
And there's 27 vampires.
Yeah.
Plus Anna.
So, I mean, maybe someone... I mean, there might be a dimwit around that's like a Noah who...
Yeah, I just feel like it would be really easy for, like, say, Pearl to entice Jonathan Gilbert into her bedchamber.
Oh, she
and
could
then
do it.
to, like, keep him long enough or drain him, drain, like, the vervain out of him, and then compel him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways that these vampires could.
That I'm like, I feel like you guys should have been doing more defense to bring back our football terms.
Yeah, way more defense.
Defense.
They didn't really know that then. They're like, football was still really new. There were still sports, though, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, there's defense. Okay.
Was there science?
There's not in 1864. There's no science, nor is there defense in sports. just let it be known. Okay. So my other thought is Katherine had a little too much dip on her chip in this episode and got caught for it. That is just what I have to say. The 1864 hotties should have bounced as soon as the vervain was in play.
100%.
And I also just like the idea of calling them the 1864 hotties because they're all hotties.
They're all really hot. Should Pearl and Katherine be a couple? With their power vamp necklaces? Their daylight necklaces?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I think so. I mean, they have a cute thing going on. I don't like all of them. Actually, I kind of like forget Elena, Damon, and Stefan, or Katherine, Stefan, and Damon. I want Pearl, Katherine, and Emily.
Yeah, I was going to say Emily.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity.
Well, our canon.
In our canon, they're all together.
Anna's gone.
Fuck Anna. Anna's not old enough to be a part of it.
No.
And she's also Pearl's daughter. Okay. Anyway. So another thing was just like Pearl's right, like Pearl was right just from going to Katherine with her concerns from the get-go, but I also find it kind of funny that just like Elena, people in Katherine's life orbit around her. Like they have that in common.
Yeah.
So just something to throw out there. And then is it weird that I was kind of shipping Jonathan Gilbert and Pearl until he timed her out?
No, because she seems to genuinely be taken by him.
Yeah,
taken with him. As
I think they were kind of cute until he ruined it. As men,
he's much cuter in motion than in his weird photo.
That is very true. He does not photograph
well.
Okay. So a question, a pondering, if you will, is I'll get back to my other one, but the use of Jenna in this episode and sometimes in general in the show so far is like very confusing to me because she's there to be a parent figure when needed, and then in other times she's just not around. And like we saw that very much in this episode where like she's conveniently like missing when they're like they're deliberating about the journal and like Damon takes Jeremy to go find Anna.
And then she's just like back.
But then she's also just there. Like, where the fuck did she go? Where did she go? Did she take a wine nap? I guess she,
And, would Jeremy and Anna really be hanging out with his aunt?
No.
Even though she's a cool aunt?
I mean, she's not a regular aunt. She is a cool aunt, but, it's just, I feel like they sometimes, obviously it's, a tough character because she is supposed to, she is this sort of, she is supposed to be an authority figure, but she's not quite an authority figure. So she kind of fits in this weird in between with all the characters. But you know what? Where she really works is with Alaric, and they did not get to see their kind of hangings and doings this episode, which I was actually bummed by. Yeah. Okay. I'm also not over who gets punished for lying in this episode and who doesn't, and. They both still got kidnapped in the end, though. Both Bonnie and Eleni are both kidnapped by the end of this episode. But I think that the most deserving of being kidnapped is Elena, because Bonnie was actually trying to lie.
Trying to put herself out there,
and she was trying to put herself out there. And she not only she put herself out there, she went on a date, very cute. She then realized that dangerous date. And then she tries to get herself out of there, and she still somehow picks this up. Elena lies to Damon horribly. Then Damon's betrayed, but Elena feels bad about it and felt bad about it the whole time. But then, and then she still gets kidnapped. She still gets kidnapped. All right. So, I just want to know, who do you think made the vampire muzzles? Who was that? Was it the sheriff? The handsy sheriff?
Maybe it was the handsy sheriff, because the fells are tied to the apothecary.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gilbert's all about the science. Maybe the Lockwoods, if not the Forbes.
Because maybe they have something else they need those for.
Maybe.
We'll have to see. Okay. So... I don't feel like anyone's cited getting a headache from ingesting blood other than Elena, because Vicky seemed to love it when her and Damon were swapping blood. So I wonder if this is a belated vampire lore piece that they added.
Yeah, I also think it's confusing that she has the headache, and was thinking of Vicky and was like, or in True Blood, you get high off of the blood, which is what Vicky seems like.
Yeah,
too.
It seemed like it was like that, and Elena's more just And
it doesn't seem like it's been that much time that's passed.
No.
So
unless it is, because the night has gone on forever, really.
Maybe this episode should have been called The Never-Ending Night.
Honestly.
Instead of The Never-Ending Story. Instead of Children of the Damned.
I mean, honestly, maybe. But those were my hot takes, questions, final thoughts. Any other lingering things, or shall we roll right into our favorite line?
Yeah, let's go. So you picked my favorite line, so I picked my second one, which is really 2 lines. But Katherine says, "The Salvatores have been kind to take me in. As far as everyone here knows, I'm a poor orphan girl from Atlanta, lost her family in the fires." And Pearl says, "A match you lit, no doubt." And then Katherine giggles, and that's what makes it my favorite line.
Yeah, that's
is that fun. She's like, yeah, she's little Scarlett O'Hara curtain dress. Pyro.
Yeah, she definitely she's Katherine.
Chaos.
I love her.
I love her so much. Her corsets are beautiful.
Her hair is beautiful. It's crazy that her and Elena are they're not the same person, but they are portrayed by the same actor. But I really, Nina Dobrev really doing the work here, because I know that we bag on Elena a lot in this, because
it's hard not to.
It's hard not to. But that is not there's nothing negative that Nina Dobrev is doing. She is delivering, and we love Nina. Yeah, we love you, Nina. Truly.
And just as much as I find Elena boring and annoying, I find Katherine wildly entertaining, and I bow at the feet of her.
She's a legend.
She's a literal icon.
She's fucking 2 brothers, and they're fine with it, and they literally know about it, and so does the whole town. That's incredible stuff. If that's not feminism, I don't know what is. All right.
Love.
Okay, so my favorite line from the episode is, If I see something I haven't seen before, I'll throw $1 at it by our guy Damon.
Love.
Of course. Damon's always got some of the best lines.
Yeah, I liked when he was like, stop being smutty.
Stop being smutty. And that's like, I feel like, not that smutty wasn't a word back then, but like not used as frequently. I feel like smutty has increased in popularity in terms of colloquialisms.
Smut with romance, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though that when Elena's like covering up and she's so upset, she's wearing a tank top.
Like she always does when she sleeps.
Always does. And like she just does randomly during the day too. I'm like, Stefan's the one who's shirtless. So
yeah.
I don't. But I mean, yes. Okay. You want your privacy and your space. But I'm like, you're not like in a bra.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
I actually, it'll actually connect to, I think, what I'm going to do for my fuck, marry, kill. So I'll hold it.
Okay. You want me to go first?
You go first, though.
Okay. I'm going to fuck Katherine. I
mean, how could you not?
Those outfits, those curls, that giggle, those fangs.
Yeah. She's looking good. She's great.
I am going to marry Pearl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she's beautiful. She knows her way around an apothecary. That's very attractive to me. And you know what? I would never turn her in or shoot her with wooden bullets.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd adopt her daughter, but I would try. I would try for Pearl. And then I'm going to kill Anna. So
bye, Anna.
I hope Pearl really loves me. But she's so annoying. And she creeps me out in all of the flashbacks and her double bonnet and her straight Samara hair. And in the present day, I hate her hair. She still needs to go to Caroline. I don't know why she's not taking our advice. And she's super annoying.
She is. She has not done a single thing that makes me want to go, wow, I like this character so far. And it's not, and again, not the actor's fault. She's great. I just Anna, who are you? Annabelle.
All
right. So my fuck, marry, kill. We've got a Salvatore triple. I'm going to fuck Stefan because I mean we've lost. I think we need to go back and retread the ab count. But him getting tossed out of that bed after Katherine has been poisoned with the vervain, he's looking mighty nice.
I did notice that, and we forgot to.
Yeah, I know. I forgot. It was like kind of late when I noticed it, but
because he's like behind her, so you don't see him.
Yeah, you don't see him as well. But when he's like on the floor, like because he kind of like gets onto the floor when like that's all going on, and I was like, oh, Paul Wesley, you're looking good. So fuck Stefan for this one. And then fuck Stefan, or also fuck Stefan if you're Damon, who's mad, who I will be marrying this episode, because I think that this man just like Elena, I agree, like he believes what he's doing is right in his own sad, twisted way. Mm-hmm. And I just think he needs to just learn how to build some trust. So I would like to help build that with him through marriage. And then finally, we're killing Giuseppe because he fucking sucks.
But he's already dead.
But in 1864, he's at this point in time still alive. Okay. So that's my time jump loophole to kill him.
You know what? If Anna killed him, I would spare her. In 1864.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. That's fair. Because
then I would kill Jonathan Gilbert for turning in Pearl.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair that we can kill people in flashbacks. I think we're allowed. Okay, I think that because
we're making the rules.
We make the rule. No one can tell us what to do.
I mean, Katherine makes all of the rules, but you know what? We make all of the rules for our podcast.
We do make all the rules. So yeah, here you've heard it here. If it's a flashback, we're allowed to include them even if they're dead because it's a flashback and it's present day in the flashback time. There.
Yeah.
That's a time math for you. All right. I think that's a wrap for today.
Yeah.
We did it.
We
I don't
did
know
do
how
it.
long this episode's going to be, but we'll find out. Thank you, Dwight. But no. So how do we want to take us out today?
Yeah. As a reminder, you can follow us online. It's fun over there. Please join us over at Hello Sister Podcast on Instagram and Threads. Or if you'd like to write us an email, you can do so at hellosisterpodcast1864@gmail.com.
And as always, I would love to thank you, Christina, for never revealing my identity to dangerous council members. And as always, a huge thank you to Dwight and Alex for all their hard work and support. We literally could not do many of the things that we do without them. So thank you guys. And yeah.
Thank you, Brenna, for never betraying my trust. And thank you for listening to Hello Sister.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello Sister is written, directed, and hosted by Christina Rosso-Schneider and Brenna Dinon. Graphic designs are by Alaric Schneider. Music is written and produced by Dwight Evan Young. Sound design and video are recorded and produced by Dwight Evan Young and Brenna Dinon. Hello Sister Podcast is a Bad Day Media production.
It's my fault. You were just so confident.
Wait, is it just a typo?